Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following confession that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a message that we received, and our brother said that you will be deleting the messages that he sent to me. And the message, the first one, it reads like this. Hello, Bro Nash. I'm sorry I'm going to be giving you a lot of work, but I have to record this, and please do not share or even to save this voice note. I am asking you, my brother, and I hope that you're not going to post the recording straight on your YouTube channel, because I want to hear you narrating my story. So it is a lot of work that I'm going to be giving to you, but my message, it is about how I joined this occultic brotherhood and how I have been trying to get out. The recording is like this. I am recording this from my house, and my heart is back in Soweto, where I grew up staying, where my mom used to take good care of me and my siblings. It is quite unfortunate that I had to sacrifice the woman that gave birth to me, because her blood was the one that was needed by the time that I went to Nigeria. My name is Sipho. I have a college diploma in logistics that has been gathering dust since 2018. After years of failing to find a job, my brother-in-law, that was when he came around with a big break for me. Before all of this had happened, my brother, I had been working for these other Indian men, and I want other fellow South Africans to understand that you might be earning money that is not what you think you are supposed to be getting each and every month. But if you have a job, I plead with you to start where you are, not to look at all these men that drive these big cars. This will make you to hate working, and you'll think that you'll get rich quick. There is no such thing as you ever getting rich so quick. And this is what happened to me. I thought that I was going to become rich within a very short period of time. Now that I was dealing with the Nigerians, I had no idea that once you sign some of these contracts as an occultic member, then you can't return back to church. Because right now, if I try to enter into the church premises, I'll start to feel so much dizzy, and I don't know what causes me to feel so much dizzy. I once tried to force myself to go into the church building. Then I started to bleed from my nose, and I just went outside of the church premises and I drove back home. And as I was driving far and far away from that church, I was getting better. I was then told that I had to sacrifice my sister as a punishment, so I will never do it again. So after years of failing to find a proper job that gave me a proper salary, my brother-in-law gave me a big break right after the corona lockdown. He had a nice car. He said we can use it for Uber. I will be the one that will be driving this car, and he will be collecting some of the money from me after I would have worked for my own salary. I thought that my luck was finally changing. Even the girl that had left me prior to that, she even returned back in my life, and I thought that finally I was getting somewhere with my life. One night I got a request. I picked up a Nigerian man from a luxury hotel. This was in Sandton. This man, he did not look like a criminal at all. He seemed as if he was someone that was really wealthy. I even wanted to ask him why he had chosen to do an Uber instead of him maybe calling one of his drivers, because he was like one of those guys that really looked like money. So I picked up this Nigerian guy from a luxury hotel in Sandton, and he told me to drive him to his house. And I went with him to his house. He then asked for my phone numbers, in which I gave him, for he told me that whenever he would have gone out, sometimes he would want me to drive him back to his house. And I said, okay, this is good business. A couple of days after that, it was on a Saturday night, he told me to come and pick him up I went and I picked him up, and he told me to drive to the Jukskei River near Alexandra. And when we got to that river, my brother, what he did, it was something that I had never imagined. In between his legs, because he was sitting at the back, and I saw that he had a backpack that he had in between his legs. He pulled out a black plastic bag, and I saw that inside there was a goat's head that was full of blood, and there were 3 women's G-string that were tied with a red string, and he threw them into the water, and he whispered something in his own Nigerian language. I really do not know what he was saying. This was something that I had never seen in my entire life. Even the place where we went to throw this stuff, I was even scared that we'll end up getting hijacked. On the way back to drop him off at Sandton, I was desperate. I looked at him through the mirror and I said, "Sir, I saw what you did. I am a graduate. I am starving. Please show me the way to the real money." He looked at me and he smiled and he said, "Oh, so you want to be rich?" And I said, "Yes, I want to be rich." And he laughed at me and he said, "I will give you a job. If you want a job, it's fine. I can give you a job, but we can talk tomorrow. Tonight, I can't speak about these things." The next day, he told me that I was supposed to come to his house. That was the first time that I entered into his house. He then said to me, "Sipho, I'm not going to lie to you. I have a little habit that I can't let go of. I am addicted to the white powder." He said, laughing, as he was showing me that there was cocaine that was on the kitchen table. And he said, "Since you said that you want a real job, I'll give you a job. You're going to become my courier. You will move these packages from the street and you'll bring them to my house. I don't want to be seen or caught buying cocaine." So this was my job, to go and buy the cocaine from the drug dealers, and then I would go with it to Sandton, and no one even knew that this was what this Uber guy was doing. And he was like, "If you survive that, then I will take you to the real boss." For months, I was a drug runner, but then the job changed. He told me that since I was someone that was now close to him, he had another job for me, and this was where he was making his money. I did not even know that this was how some of these Nigerians were making money. He paid me for an apartment, a monthly fee that I was going to be getting. This was my salary, 80K, just to drive my brother-in-law's Uber car, but to drive it at night empty. Then the next morning, I had to pick up people early in the morning. The first 10 people that I pick up in the morning, those people, they will have their luck stolen because of some of the things that you would have put onto the back seat of the car. So Brother Nashim, he told me to go through specific intersections in Joburg, William, Nicole, Greystone, and Rivonia between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. I started noticing that whenever I stopped at a red light, the car will dip in the back as if there was someone heavy that had just entered into the car. I was always told that I should never look back, because if I look back, I will die. And I knew that this man, he had his theologies that were staying in those intersections. And after I would have collected them, I would go back to my apartment feeling so scared, because I would feel as if there is someone, or there are other people that have squeezed themselves at the back seat. In the morning, you would come to the complex where I was staying, and you will be having a small yellow face cloth that you would use to wipe the back seat with some oil, but not to make it wet. And then I will start to go picking up the people that would have requested on my Uber app. After 5 months of doing this job, my boss told me that it was time for the final initiation, and I was so excited, my brother. He had already told me that I was a chauffeur for all of these people that I will be picking up, and then each and every passenger that I had picked up the next day, the car will drain their good luck. their future will be stolen. He said that it was like when you transfer money from one account to another. He said all those people that I was picking up, I was transferring their good luck from their own lives into the life of that Nigerian man. Those are his own rituals that he did, but he told me that in their cult, everyone has their own type of rituals, and the Grandmaster is the one that will decide what kind of rituals you will be doing for the rest of your life. So after those 5 months, I was so excited when he told me that we were going to be flying to Nigeria. We did not even stay in Lagos. We went deep into the forest in a land that is very far. That was where we met the Grandmaster, and he told me that I was supposed to sleep with a mad woman first. You can imagine, after being driven from Lagos, I don't know, maybe for 4 or 5 hours, going to that other province, and then I was told that I had to be returned back to Lagos, and this I had to do on my own, and I was told that I was supposed to blend in, to act as if I was Nigerian. They even gave me clothes so that I can look like I was Nigerian, but I want to thank God that most of the people there in Nigeria, they communicate in English anyway, but there were those that were looking at me because of my accent. So I taught myself to remain quiet. I hitchhiked a car that was full of other people, but I was scared of maybe getting hijacked after they would have discovered that I was from South Africa, thinking that I am rich, yet I had came to look for riches. I then hitchhiked from the place where I was, and I returned back to Lagos. Being in Lagos, that was the most difficult thing like ever. I was homeless for 2 weeks, staying in Lagos, but I had money that they had given to me. It was in US dollars, and they told me to make sure that I look like a madman. Otherwise, I was going to get robbed of the money that I had, and I was not supposed to return back to that place before I had slept with a mad woman. Looking for a mad woman in Lagos, it was an easy thing, but getting a mad woman to sleep with me, that was the most difficult thing. When I was about to give up, in my mind, I was like, even if I appear on the news, it really does not matter anymore. I was thinking of going to a South African embassy to cry, to tell them to return me back home, and to explain my situation to them, and to expose this man that had brought me to Nigeria. That was when I saw this other woman when I was walking on a highway getting out of Lagos. I was confused by then. This was a mad woman. She had made a small shack out of plastics. I approached her and I was holding some food. She looked at the food and she started smiling, and she invited me in. We started touching each other and we slept together. And then I ran away from that woman because she started following me. I looked for a place where I could bath, and then I bought clothes that made me to look like I was normal. Where I was supposed to go to, I knew the place, and I also heard the voices of the Grandmaster speaking with me. When I was dropped in the village, still I had to walk for a couple of hours going to where the shrine was. Then they came and they picked me up. After that, that was when I was led into a room that was full of mirrors. I was told to look into any of the mirror, and these mirrors, they were there to keep the wealth that they would have given to me, and I must give what I loved the most. And I was supposed to speak to the mirror. In that mirror, I did not even see my reflection. They were black at all the times. That was when I saw my mother, who was back in Soweto. On that day, I saw my mom. She was cooking pap and varos, and this was around past 2 p.m. when this happened. And then I was given a ritual knife, and I was told to stab that glass, and I did as I had been instructed to do, but they tricked me, because when he told me to strike the glass, I thought that maybe I was just going to do it, but my mother was not going to die. So I heard my mother's voice. She was screaming from that mirror, and there was blood everywhere. Even in my hands, there was my mother's blood, and I was confused. I did not know what really was going on. I returned back to South Africa. I was a rich man in the spirit, but the money was not yet there. I started making real good money. after we had buried my mother. I bought the penthouse, I bought a lot of things, and women, they started to chase after me, but it is all a lie. I am rich, not in the spirit. I don't have any money at all. So as time went on, that was when I discovered that this contract that we signed in Nigeria, the contract, I found out the truth. This I did. It was a couple of months ago. The Grandmaster in IjebuOde is dying. He is stage 4 bone cancer. And if he dies, then it means that all of us, we are going to die. The contract that we signed, it has a final clause, and we are all in that same contract. If that man dies, then it means that the whole system, it shuts down. All of us South African or Nigerians in Joburg, in Nigeria, in Cape Town, all of those people that once went to his shrine, and even politicians that he once assisted to win elections, once that man die, then we will also die. And when he goes, we all go. Wherever he goes to, we will also go to that place. I am sitting here in Sandton, surrounded by my millions, laughing at myself. I sold my mother's soul for a car and a view of a city that I will never enjoy past 2026. As for me, I have been having dreams whereby I see myself dying on the 25th of December. Oh, God is laughing at me. My day of dying, it is going to be on Christmas, when some of y'all are going to be enjoying, and as for me, I'll be dead in a mortuary. I traded my life for all of this nonsense, and whenever I think about this, my heart, it aches really bad. I wish that I had never done this Uber thing. There are other things that I wanted to talk about, but I'm scared, especially the thing of sleeping with a mad woman in Nigeria. This woman, even though I slept with her, my brother, but it was against her will. She was a mad woman who did not even understand what was happening. And it was as if she was possessed, because soon after I had finished sleeping with him, that was when she started coming back to her senses. That is why I had to literally run away from her. When you post my story, please tell me. I will follow in the comment section. I'll be grateful if you've sent me a link, as well as remind me after you would have posted, so that I can remove these messages. Yo, dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our DM brother. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world. Can you imagine? He's saying that he is going to die this year. He's saying that he's going to die on the 25th of December in that cult. Once you join that cult, the day that your grandmaster dies, all of you that are in that cult, you will all die on the same day or in the same year. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world. If you have any confession that you have that you wish to share with us, if you have ever been involved with someone that practiced occultism, you can come to my inbox and then you can share with me your own side of the story.